Welcome back to Learning Partners. So in this video, we are going to create another mini project idea. So idea is very simple, event booking, right? So you might have used bookmyshow.com. So in BookMyShow also, we can book mini tickets to the ongoing events. Let's say any music concert is there, match tickets are there, anything like some events is getting organized, so they contact BookMyShow, they create event over there, and we can, as a customer, we can register or we can book our seat to that particular event. So that event booking we are just going to create. So the portal will be a free portal, right? So event manager can register on our portal, they can create their event, and us, mean our customers, we can book our ticket to that event. So a single portal which will be used by, let's say, event planner also and the customer also, right? So let's start. This is just a static HTML I have created. This is already pushed to my GitHub repository. You can find that in the project template repository, right? So here we can show all the events going on. Then on click of book now, we will open a model pop-up, and there we will ask some booking information, right? And we can book. So login button and the register button will be there. Here we will have logo and some filtering also we can do, right? So HTML is already there. In the event booking, you will find that, right? So I have created an Angular project, basic project I have created. Now we will first discuss like what are the components we are going to need. So first component we are going to need is index, means home component, right? The home page which you are able to see now, that is nothing but home component we will create. Right. After home component, we can have a booking form component. So let's say new booking. Then login and registration we can do in a model purpose. We don't need a separate component for that. We can accomplish that in a single model pop-up also, right? So home component will be for our landing page, new booking component for our booking page, then my bookings. Whatever the bookings I have done, I can see that in my bookings page, right? Then this is home component will be accessible to everyone, accessible to all. New booking will be accessible to customer. My booking is also available to customer only, right? Then we have create event. This component will be available only for the event planner. So in this application, we are going to have two roles, right? Let me just write the roles. Customer and event planner, right? Only two roles we are going to have. So create event is the component which will allow us to create the event. Then event list. This again will be only visible to event planner. There he can see all the events he has created and bookings he has done, right? So another component, event bookings, right? So in this component, he will be able to see all the booking he has received for that particular event, right? So this is a simple, very sophisticated business plan idea, right? It's very easy to understand because we don't have any complicated flow. APIs are provided over here. So if you visit freeapi.miniproject.com, you can find all those API in the event booking. So these are the various API we have. So limited number of APIs are there, starting with user, then events API, then booking API, right? So three major modules are there. Now let's start with the Angular setup. So if you can see, this is just a basic project I have created, right? So first thing we have to do is we have to create the component. So in app folder, I'm going to create one folder that will be pages. Inside this pages folder, I will be creating my all the components which are going to be created along with routes, right? So I have to create components. So ng generate component. So first component I will create is home, right? So when we create the component, it will create 4 files and it will update app module.ts, right? It will add the component entry into declaration. The first time it will take time. Yeah. So if you can see 4 files has been created and it has updated 1 file. So whatever the component we have created, that component name will be added to the declaration, right? So like this, I will create the remaining components. So if you can see, I have created all the components along. You can see event booking, event list. So one change is like we won't be creating new booking component because for new booking, we will use the model pop-up. There is no need of another page where we will be redirecting. We can do the same thing in a model pop-up. So we have just skipped that component, right? So now next thing we have to do is we have to create the routes. So in app routing model.ts, we are going to create the routes of our components we have created, right? So first component that we are going to need is empty, right? That is kind of a default component. So if it is empty, then we have to redirect to home component, and path match strategy we have to pass that will be with full, right? So this is a default component. Then we have our actual component that is home. Then component we will be opening on this URL, which will be home component, right? Like that, I will create the remaining components. I have created all the component, default route, then home, my booking, new event, and the event booking component. So these are the all components which we have created and the routes for the same. The first thing we have to start with the home component, right? So in the app component, we get whatever we have with the default project. We just remove that and we can write router outlet over here, right? So in app component, we will just have our router outlet. After that, let's save and let's try to run the application so that we can see. So a project is already running. Let's open localhost 4200. So by default, you can see home component is getting open now. So this was the home component UI. So I will just copy paste the things from my HTML template, navbar and section. I'll just copy this and paste it into the home component. Right, so I will need the CSS also. So CSS are in the style. So I'll just copy this. This will goes into style.css. Just a button CSS I'm going to put into the common div because this button I'm going to use over multiple sections. So this button will go into global.style.css. Let's see. Let's check if we get the same page. Right, so we are getting something, but Bootstrap is missing. So let's go to the Bootstrap W3 and let's copy that CDN link and paste it into the index.html. So for now, just I'm using online CDN link, but you can install that and use the right way to use the Bootstrap into your Angular project, because once you install in Angular.json, you need to add the entries. But for now, I'm just adding the Bootstrap link into index.html. Let's save and check it now. You can see we have got the same output, right? Just the logo is remaining. So let me just add the logo also. So from this folder, So this is the logo. I will need that in my asset folder. Now in our home component, we have a nav bar. There we just need to paste the logo. It will become asset slash event logo.png. Let's save. We should be able to see the logo. Yes. So you can see logo is also visible, right? Now, first thing what we have to do is login and registration part we can do, right? So first thing, register part we have to do. So now we are going to design a login and registration form in a single model pop-up. So let's use ChatGPT. So ChatGPT we can use to design a simple login and the sign up form. So login and sign up form in HTML, CSS. Simply we can write, it will provide us the basic HTML code that we can use, right? So this code we are going to open in the model pop-up, right? So login and the sign up, we have not created components. So that same thing we are going to open in the model pop-up, right? So let's open the model pop-up code, model. So this is just a model pop-up div we need. Let's copy. Now let me close this. Right. So in the home component, we have the login and the sign up button over here, right? So in the home component, I will need login and the sign up button, right? So this is the model pop-up, and in the model body, I will need that pop HTML code. So let's go over here. This is a model login and HTML code, right? Now this model I have to open on this button click, on the login button click. So let's write the event over here. So click event, open, login. Let's create this function into .ts. So once we click on the button click, we are going to open that model pop-up. So for that, we need to get the instance of that particular div. So model is equal to document dot get element by id round bracket single quotes and the id of that div, that is my model. Right, then we just need to add a null check, like if model we have got or not. So model not equal to null. If model we have got, then we just need to add the dynamic style. So model dot style dot display is equal to block, right? So this will open the model pop-up. Just like that, close function, close model also we are going to need. So let's close, create that. Close model. Instead of block, now it will be none, right? So now let's check if model pop-up is getting open. Yes, so you can see login pop-up is there, but CSS is not proper. So we have just copied the HTML part. Now let's copy the all container part. Somewhere we should have, yes. So this copied, and let's put it into the HTML. Let's save again and let's try again. Now our, okay, so container was there. Because of that container, it got messed up. So let's remove the container thing. Still it is messed up. What CSS it is causing now? form. So let's make it dot form, and over here class form. Some CSS are still causing that. Let me just make it ready. Okay, so I have done some changes. So if I click on the login, so we get this model pop, right? So HTML I will provide. Now, this model pop is going to serve two purposes, login and the sign up also. That means registration for to use this application, right? So on click of sign up, we should show the sign up page. So currently I just have the login page, right? So if we go over here, this is just a login page, just like this form, we are going to have a sign up also. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. This also not needed. This also not needed. Now we can just create one variable which will serve the purpose is login view colon boolean. Let's make it true, right? So if this variable is true, we are going to show the login form. So star ng if this variable is false, we are going to show the sign up form. So that with not, right? So username, let's check what things we have in the registration page. So create user, right? So you can see name, email ID, password, contact number, and the role. So single page is going to be there for normal customer and the event planner also. So name, email, password, contact number, these fields we are going to need. So username, their password, let's just copy paste. So name, let's copy the name field. Then email, password, contact number, and the role. Instead of login, it will be register. Button type submit we can keep. Here also same. Right now, once I click on the login, let's wrap this inside the form. And here, login, if already registered, and it will be, let's put hash over here, same thing over here. Now, once we click on the sign up, we just need to once we click on the sign up, we just need to change this variable to false, right? So we can write event over here, click, and we just need to change the variable, right? So we will do false over here. And same thing, once we click on the login over here, once we are in the register form, we just need to navigate also, right? So here we can just make that value as true again. So let's test this. So if I click on login, you can see by default login page is visible. But if I click on sign up here, sign up page is here, right? Again, if I click on login, again, why it was got closed, sign up, login. Something is missing. Somewhere it was closing the model pop-up. Why is it? Sign up, just like that, login. After clicking on login, it is getting closed. But why? Simple true is there. Okay, let's check afterward. Right. So login page is ready. Now first we need to design the first we need to create the object. for register, right? So this is my register object, which I need to send to this API. So we have to go to the .ts. Then this is register obj :any, right? The object I have copy pasted. Then this object we need to bind to our elements, right? But before binding that, we need to import some things. So obviously we are going to make API call and we are going to design the form with ng model, right? So we need to add two imports. That is, first is in HTTP client module and then forms module. So HTTP client module will come from common/HTTP. This is just a one-time process you need to do. This will go into the import section. Just like that, we need forms module because we are going to use ng model directive. So we need to have two import statement into our app module, right? So let's close this. Now, second thing, we have created object, right? So now this object we need to bind to our input element using ng model. So square bracket, round bracket, ng model is equal to double quotes, our object name. Let's open it side by side. So with that, we can copy paste properly. Our object name dot our property from that object, that is name. So just like that, we can copy paste. And role we will hard code it over here as a customer, because event planner we will have event planner also we can have. Let's do that also. Password, contact number, right? So we have created object. That object we have binded to our form. Just like the registration, we have the login page also, right? So for login, we have separate API, that is this login. So for this, we just need two field, password and the contact number. So login obj :any, right? So this also we need to bind. So in the login form, this is a login form above, right? So here square bracket, round bracket, ng model is equal to double quotes, then login object dot our contact number. Contact number is nothing but our login username. So instead of username, we can say contact number. Then just like that, password also we need to bind. Right? So our object we have created, an object we have successfully binded to the forms also. Next thing, API call. So to make the API call, first thing we have to do is we have to create the service also. We can make the API call from the component also. So let's try from component. So constructor we have to create, and in constructor we have to create object of HTTP client service. So private HTTP :HTTP client. So once you select this, now import will be added at the top. You can see import has been added, right? Curly bracket. Now we can create a separate functions for the API call on register, round bracket, curly bracket. Just like that, on login also function we are going to need, right? So on register, in this function we are going to make the API call. So this .http .post, right? So registration, obviously we are going to send the object, so we need the post API, right? So for post API we are going to need URL and the object. So let's get the URL. Let me just try it out over here so that we can get the URL. So this is my URL. This URL will go over here. Then object we need to send. Object will be this dot register object, right? Then we need to subscribe to the whatever the API call, whatever the response we get. So res : any, then arrow function, right? So if you can see, all the APIs are returning some proper object. In that object, we are going to get three properties: result, message, and the data. You can see currently I have tried with this object, so it has provided error that contact number already present. So you will get this result property as false if API is not successful, right? Means whatever some error is there, so you will get false over here. So this check you can add. in your subscribe. So if res dot result is true, then only we can say registration is success. Registration success, right? And but in else we can show whatever the message we have got from the API side. So that is nothing but message we are getting in the message property. So message, right? So this is register call. Just like that, I will copy paste. Right? Just the URL will change. So URL will be login only. So just method name is going to change. It will be login. Now for the login API, we need to send the login object. So login object we need to send. And once we do the login, we can show login success pop up, right? And once we log in, right? So let me just see what users we have, right? So these are the existing user. Let's try my default user. This is my mobile number and password is 112233. Let's try to log in with this on the Swagger only. This is 112233. This is the demo mobile number I have put it. Let's try execute. So once we log in, we get the in data, we get the complete details of that user. So we need to store this user, store this data somewhere so that wherever we need the logged in user data, it should be accessible, right? So we normally store this data into local storage or session storage or cookies also, right? So for now, we will just store the data into local storage. So once we get the login details, we can store that into the local storage. So local storage dot set item. Now, when we are going to store the data into the local storage will always store the data into the string format. So we have got the object, so we need to convert that into the string format. So first we need the key. So event user is my key. Then JSON dot stringify. This is a method which will convert object or array, whatever you pass, into the string. So res dot data. From API response, in this field, we are going to get the data, right? So once registration is success and the login is part is success, we need to close the model also. So we can just call this function over here, right? Just like this, we need to call it over here also. Let's save and check. Right. So on click of login, we have got the login page. Okay. So string is coming. We just need to empty the default initialization. Okay. Role we have missed. So role also we need to click over here. Just like this. What are you? We will be asking and providing a drop down button, or let's use the radio button. Not sure radio button how it will look. So let's use drop down. Inside that option, value will be empty. Select your role. We will need two options. So PT, first option will be event planner because we have two roles. And second role will be customer. Ideally, for event planner, we normally in actual application, we will have a separate sign up page. But since this is just a project idea we are implementing, so we are going to have same form. Let's try now. Sign up, right? Here also you can get, right? So first thing like a registration page we can complete. So instead of this, now this login also we can put it inside the form. And here registration. So that will make sense. Now on click of register and the login, we need to call our functions API call. So click, let's check our login function, that is on login. We need to call it over here. So validation part I'm not going to take because again it will take some pretty much amount of time. So I will just skip that, but you can take care of that because I have another same videos are also there. You can check my channel or any channel. So many videos are there on the login part. You can just implement that. Right. So let's click on save. Now first part is register, we can see. So let's start Sachin. Let's add a demo email @gmail.com. Dot Sachin@dummy.com. Right. So this is going to be my email ID. Right. Then password 112233. Now in this password should be input type password, but I have kept it text only, but you should kept it as a password. Then mobile number 9999777788. This was wrong. Mobile contact number I have kept as a password, right? But you can do it correctly. Then I'm registering as an event planner, or let's create as a first customer first. Let's try the API call. So currently Sachin is going to be my customer, right? So let's click on register. Now on click of register, you can see we have got the pop-up like registration success. Let's check the API call. So in the payload, whatever the object we have created, right? Form data, you can see whole thing we have set. Okay, role is got empty. That's why, because we have forgot to add ng model over here. Ng model. Let's copy. That's why role was empty. And role. Now, this name property is mandatory. If your form is inside the form tag, and if you are using the ng model, this name property will be mandatory. So always try to use whatever the property name, you can just copy paste. Let's try again. This time we will register an event planner first. Let's create an event planner. Let's say I have one company is there who is organizing some events. Let's say Ganesh event planner. Right. So this is the company name, right? Then let's say G Ganesh @dummy.com. Password, let's say 112233. Let's enter contact number. I'm entering contact number as, because contact number is going to be my user logged in username. So 1111222233. So let's say event 11111222233. This is my username, and password will be 112233. Right? Event planner 1. Let's click on register your name as an event planner. So if I click on register, now we should have role also provided. Right? So you can see user has been successfully created. Let's check get all users. So we can see the event planner we have created. Yes, so you can see we have got the event planner already created. Now, second part was login. So let's try contact mobile number, this, and the passwords. So if I click on login, right? Login, move contact number, then password 112233, login. So login success is also we have got. So in login, you can see this is the credential we have passed. In the response you have got in the data, true you have got, and in the data you have got the whole object. Whatever the user credential you have sent, you have got the object of that particular user ID, email ID, and along with everything. And in the local storage, let's go to application, local storage. You can see in the event planner, about this. In the event planner, you can see the object which we have stored is over here, right? So because of this code, After login success, we have stored the detail into the local storage. So that's why you are able to see that data over there, right? So login and the registration part is done. Next part is in home component only, we have to show all the events, or before showing the events, first we need to create the event, right? So to create the event, let's check create event API. So this is the API create event. So here you can see these are the various details we have. In these details, just organization IDs we have to send. Organization ID means event planner which is logged in, right? So whatever the logged in user ID we have when we create the event, that ID we need to send it over here. The remaining field, the remaining are the form fields only. So let me just create a quickly form over here. So new event. This is the form this is the component we are going to use. So container. Let me just create a simple form. So based on the object we have to send, I have created this form. So this is just using a simple bootstrap, right? So you can see event title, description, location, start date, start time, end date, so many things. Okay, image URL I forgot. So let's try the image URL also. Yeah, so after this, image URL, right? So the basic form I have created, right? But one thing we have missed, like, so you can see in the new event, we are not getting that navbar, right? So that's because we have put the navbar into the home component. So we can move this navbar inside the app component so that common navbar will be in the home component. And whatever the things we have did for the login also, we need to move back. So this will go in the app component, right? So login and registration part, whatever things we have did, that will go into the login home component. So basically all things will go inside the log at component.ts. So let's save and check. Now we should see the navbar over there also. Okay, so that needs import statement. Let's save again. So it is compiled successfully. Now you can see navbar is over here also. And if we go back in home also, we have the same, right? Now, next thing, once user is logged in, we should not see this login and the registration button. If you see the local storage, because we earlier we logged in, right? So in the local storage, we might have the data, right? So here you can see event user, we have the logged in data, means user is logged in. So if user is logged in, he should not see the login and the registration button. He should see his username and the logout button. So let's write the code for that. So now login and that registered button is inside my app component, right? So in the app component, we just have to read the local storage data, right? So in the constructor here, I will just create a simple variable is user logged in colon boolean. By default false, I will keep it, right? So now in constructor, I will read the local storage data. So constant local data local storage dot get item. To read the data from the local storage, we have to use the method that is get item. Now, while storing the data, we have used the key as event user. So this only we have to read. So in the constructor, we have to paste this. Now we just need an additional and null check, right? So if local data is not equal to null, means the user is logged in. Not equal to null means user is logged in, right? So if user is logged in, we can just make this variable true. So this variable is equal to true. Then we need to we need to show the logged in username also, right? So for that, we will be storing the data into another variable, that is log user data colon any, right? Now, while storing the data into local storage, we have stored it into string format. So you remember JSON.stringify we have did. So while reading data back, we need to convert that string data into object again. So for that, this dot logged user data is equal to JSON dot parse method we have to use. So JSON dot parse method will convert the string converted data from string to again its original form. So that will be local data. We have to pass it over here. Right now, this variable I can use over here. So we have that form. So we can add the ng over this form. So if logged in user is false, right? If this user is false, if this variable is false, means user is not logged in. So we will show login and the registration button. But else, if it is true, then we will show just the login username. So here we will show the logged in username that will be in the logged in user data dot, let's check the local storage. Let's show contact number, because username is nothing but our contact number. So let's show the username, and here it will be log off. Right, on click of log off, we just need to clear the local storage data, and again, right, and we just need to change this flag. So click on log off. Let's create this function now. So once we click on the log off, what we need to do, we just need to clear the local storage. So local storage dot remove item, and we need to specify the key, like which data exactly we need to remove. So this key we need to remove, and we know that user is not logged in, so we can just change this flag with true again. This dot is logged in user data is equal to false. Sorry, it will be false again. Is logged in user again false. So let's save and check it now. So you can see currently we have the data into the local storage. So you can see the logged in username and the log off button. Right, if I click on log off now, so you can see again login user and the log register button is visible. And from the local storage, we have removed that data also, right? Now next part is on the login page, we need to the create event page, we have to start. We have designed the UI, now API call and the everything part we can do. So the event form we have already designed, right? So next part is we just need to create API, we just need to write the event API call, right? So let's see the API. So this is the API create event. This is the object which we need to send. So let's copy it. Let's create an object, event obj colon any equal to curly bracket, and that's it. Let's enter the things. Now, in this object, we need to send the organizer ID. Organizer ID means the user which is logged in, means event planner which is logged in, right? So for that, we need to read the local storage data that we have did in the app component, just like that. So let's go to app component. So this line of code, same line of code we are going to need in here only, right? So we have read the data from the local storage, and whatever the data we read, that we are going to store in the local user data. So let's create this variable also. And once we get the data, we just need to append the you logged in user ID to the organizer ID. So this dot logged in, event use object dot organizer ID is equal to this dot logged in user data dot user ID. So in this object, when the page component load, we are reading the data from the local storage and assigning whatever the current user logged in the organizer ID. Now, next thing we need to bind the object to our form. Let's open it side by side. Right. So here event object square bracket round bracket ng model. Now here we don't have form tag, so it is not mandatory to add the name attribute, right? So you can skip that. Let me just add everywhere. So I have added ng model everywhere. Just thing is start date input of type text. We need to make it date so that we can get the calendar, right? And start time is like free text box, so user can enter whatever they feel. So we have bind the object. Let's see. Okay, we don't have that new. If you logged in user is event planner, so we should get a link, right? In the navbar to navigate to the create new event. So for that, let's create an event inside this UL. Let me just get the li. Right. So in this UL, we will have this li. Now this li, which will be responsible for create event, this will be only visible if the logged in user has role as an event planner, right? So that if statement we can add. So whatever the logged in user data we have stored in this variable. So this variable we can use over here on star ng if logged in user dot, let's check the local storage. I think we have removed it. Let's see one more time. Application, yeah, we don't have it. So let's try login. Well, it is like this. So CSS was missing, right? So what was the login detail? Let me just check all user. So this was our user ID. So contact number and then password, login success. Now, if you can see, we have moved our login page to the parent component, right? Means app component. So now still user is logged in, but login and registration buttons are visible. So now the problem is, let me just explain. Now our login model is in app component, right? But our navbar, wait, once we do the login, right? So once we do the login, we need to reload this code, or we can just make this property true. So this will go over here and result.data, right? Let's save and check now. So currently it is logged in. Let's try log off and let's try again login. After login, we should be able to see the log off button and the username. Login success, yes. And why the model pop-up is not closed? Closed model is there. Let's see if we have got any error. There's some error is there. Object.json is not a valid JSON. Okay, so we don't need to parse it. That was the error. Now if I Click on log off. Login button is visible. Let's try to log in again, just to make sure it is working fine. Password, login success, and the login username and the log off button is visible, right? So now this event, this navigation link should be visible if only event planner is logged in. Let's try to log off, but still it is visible because we haven't added that check, right? So let's try login again. Now in event user, in the local storage object, if we have role as an event planner, so let's copy this in the HTML. Dot role is equal to, in single quote, this planner, right? So this li tag will only be visible if in logged in user role is event planner. So let's see. Currently it is visible. Let's try to log off. Still it is visible. Why? Are we getting any error? No. Let's try again. Event planner dot role. Okay. So once we log off, are we clearing this or not? Oh, so that was the issue. So we are not clearing that object, right? So we need to make this undefined, right? So let's save and check now. Now it is throwing error because we are trying to read the data from the undefined object. So just an question mark will do the work. Let's try login, contact number, password, login success. So you can see create event button. Once I log off, you can see button is visible. Button is not visible now, right? So our half work is done, right? So next thing is, let me just log in again. So on create event, we just have, wait, why it is, okay. So here we need create new event, router link should be added over here. Instead of href, it should be router link. Let's see if we are successfully able to navigate. Right. Now, from here, we are going to create the event, right? So event planner will log in. He can create multiple events he is going to be hosting, right? So this is the API call. Let's go down. Let's try it out, execute. So this is an API call. Now, new event. So first thing, we have to create the object of HTTP client, right? We are going to make the API call. So we need the HTTP client object, client, then on create event function, then this dot HTTP dot post round bracket. First parameter is the URL. So this is the URL. Then we need to send the object also. So this dot event object, then dot subscribe method, arrow function. Again, the same check, because every API is returning an object, and in result property, if it is true, then we can say it is success. So alert event created, or else we can show the message whatever we get from the API side. So alert res dot data, right? So let's save and check we are successfully able to create the event or not. Let's check the old data, how many events are there. So get all event is the method. Let's try it out, execute. So currently you can see we just have one event, right? That Holy Festive some event I have created. So only one event is there, which is by organizer, which is by organizer green event planner. Now we are logged in with some another user, right? So let's visit BookMyShow and let's see what type of events they host. Let's try to use their data. So let's go to events. Let's say Sonu Nigam live, right? So event title is this. So this is my event title. So this will go over here, event location. It is going to be this location. Okay, so some things are not copied. Let's copy event location. Something else is getting copied. Let's inspect and then let's copy that. So some website disable that inspect thing. We cannot copy that. So let's inspect and copy it. So this is my location. It will go over here. Start date, let's start with tomorrow. Start time, let's say 10 a.m. End time also tomorrow. Let's say 12 p.m. Right? Max capacity, let's say 100 max. Then entry fee, let's say 500 per person. Image URL. So image, we can use this only. So this is nothing but image URL. I will copy that and paste it over here. Description, do we have the description or not? Let's see. We don't have any description. Let's just add some dummy description. Sonu Nigam is performing live, right? So let's inspect and check the network call if we are successfully making the API call or not. So on click of click event, right? Oh my God. So I think we have not called this event on the function. So here we need to call it, right? So click this function. Again, we need to copy the whole data. Let's do that once. So title was let's make Thane. Start date tomorrow, start time 10 a.m. End date also tomorrow only 12 p.m. Max capacity 100, 500 per person. Image URL. This was the image URL. Right. Now let's check it. So here we have two check boxes like is identity mandatory or is couple mandatory. So let's uncheck that. Network on click of it. Yes. So we event created successfully. So this was the object which we have sent. In the response, we have got true and saved successfully, right? This means event has been successfully created. Let's check the Swagger. Let's try if we are going to get the latest event. It's taking so much time to load. Right. So you can see the latest event we have created, we have got it, right? Now create event part is done, but we need to show the events to planner also, no? Like what are the events he has created. So we need to show the list of event he has created. So we can use one API that is get events by organizer. So here you need to send the logged in event planner ID. So then you will get the events created by him. So our currently logged in user ID is, let's check application. Logged in user ID means nothing but user ID. So our user ID is 5. So let's pass 5 over here. So we should get only one event which we have created just now. Yes, so you can see we have got that event. Now this API we need to use. So we have created one event, that is event list, right? So in this component, we are going to show the list of events that particular user has created. So here, let's create first API call. Again, private HTTP colon HTTP client load events, right? So this dot HTTP dot get, right? And this is a URL. Now, these 5 like organizer ID should be dynamic. So we need to read the local storage data and send the logged in user ID. So for that, again, we have to copy the same thing, which we have did on multiple time. So rather than doing this multiple time, you can store the logged in user ID in, what do we say, service also, or you can do the same what I'm doing right now. But just to keep the things simple, I'm doing like this, colon any, right? So the logged in user ID will be in this component, and this we need to pass it over here. So instead of this static, it will be plus dot user ID, right? Then we need to subscribe also. So dot subscribe round bracket result colon any. So whatever the result we get, that we need to store, right? So event list colon any, it is going to be array, initialize with empty. So this dot event list is equal to res dot data. In data, we are going to get the actual array. So this event we have to call once we read the data from the local storage. So that's why I'm calling it over here, right? So now in event list, we are going to get the events created by the logged in user. Now we need to show it also. So let's show those events in the card formats. So let's use Bootstrap card where we can show the image. Card. So like this we can create. Let me just find the right example. So this is the image, right? So here we can create row, call 3, and image. Let's remove this height, right? So now this call 3 should be dynamic. So we will use star ng for over here to iterate over the data. Let event of our array name, that is event list. So this will go over here. Now we are going to get the image URL or not. Let's check. Okay, so we are not getting image URL. Let me just change the API a little bit, because we need whatever the image URL we have sent, we should get that over here. So now you can see in the response, I'm getting price and the location also, right? So now, okay, one thing I missed. Let me just change it back. Right. So now I'm getting image URL also. Now let's start. We need to bind the data. So image URL should be bind to this src tag. So that will be using property binding. So instead of this, event dot image URL, right? Then we need to display the event title also. So instead of John Doe, it will be event dot, let's see what data we get. Event name, it will be displayed over here. Here we can show location, and price also we can display. Right, and date also we need to display. So whatever the event basic event information is there, we need to display it all. Right, so start date, right? And we should have a button for book now. Let's save and check. We should see the event now properly. Okay. So in the navbar also we need one more tab, right? One more li tab we are going to need, that is for events, event list. Event list we have not created, so let's just create one more. Event hyphen list, and component will be event list. Right, and this route will go in the app component over here. Let's save all and check. Right, so if we go to events, yeah, so you can see we have got one card. Let's create one more. Right, let's try another. Let's say Ed Sheeran, or let's say this India tour, someone is there. Image, URL, the name. Why don't they let us copy? Let's open it. Event title. Mumbai. Start date, let's say 13th, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. End date also same. Max capacity 1000. Entry fee 1200. Right? Is couple mandatory, we can make it. Is identity mandatory, also we can make it true. Let's see if we got any details. Yes. So we can copy this. Let's paste it. Create event. Right. So event is created. Let's go back to events. Now you can see you have got two events created. Let's just add a, what do we say? Height to this so that it will look proper. So here we can add style, height, let's say 300 px, so that UI will be proper, right? So like this, we have shown the data, right? So event creation is done. Event list also we have seen. Now in the home page, we need to show the events, right? So currently we have three events. So if you see get all events, now on the home page, we need to use get all events. So we need to show the events of all the event planner, right? So if we see this API, get all events, you can see we have got three events. One is provided by, one is created by Green Event Planner, and two are provided by Ganesh Event Planner, right? So in the home page, we need to call that API. So let's close all the home component, right? So let's create is constructor private HTTP :HTTP client load all events this dot HTTP dot get, right? So for get URL, we just need the URL. So this is our URL. So let's copy it. Let's paste it. Dot subscribe round bracket res :any, right? So whatever the event we are going to get from this API, we need to store it also. So events :any, it is going to be array. This we need to store it over here. So this dot events is equal to res dot data. Now on the page load, we need to call this event. So we need to implement on init lifecycle event. So on init implements on init, and then we need ng on init, right? And this function we will be calling in ng on init. Rather than, don't use constructor to make the API call initiation. Always use ng on init, right? So in the events, we are going to get the data. Now we just need to make that this structure dynamic. So inside that, schedule tab, in the tab data, let's see what is the, okay, so st content, this is the dynamic, this is the static thing, right? So we just need to remove it. Let me just remove the unnecessary things. Now this thing will be dynamic. So star ng if, sorry, star ng for let event of event list. Now whatever the things we have, we just need to make it dynamic starting from the URL. So src, now event dot image URL. So this will go over here, right? Then event name. So here we can say the event name, event dot event name. So that is event name. Always try to copy paste the properties, because if you make the spelling mistake, you won't be able to get it. Instead of this, we need to say start date. I don't have the font awesome yet, but I will add it so that we can see the proper icon also. Start time. Now we need, this is a date, right? So we need to add date pipe, dd hyphen mmm hyphen yy. Okay, this should have been over here. So let me just copy the icons over here. After that, we can show location. So event dot location. This icon will go over here, right? Then created by. So for user icon we can use over here, and we have to show the event planner name, so that we are getting in organizer name. So event dot organizer name, and we can show price over here. Event dot price. Let's save and check. Okay, so here you can see 3 events we had. So all 3 events are available over here now. So event title, timing, planned by, right? So we just need that. Boots font awesome. So let me just get that URL. So this URL I need, I will paste it in my index.html, but you can install the package and add that link in the angular.json. Now our icon should be visible, right? So you can see icons are visible. Now, currently we are logged in with event planner. Now we need to log in with customer, right? So let's log off. Now we need to register as a customer. So let's create customer. I will create with my name. 1234 contact number 8888777766, right? Just a demo I'm getting, and event planner is customer. Let's click on register. So registration is success. Let's check all user if we have successfully created the data or not. Right. Now I have to log in also. So this is my mobile number and password is 1234. Login. Right. So login success. Now I'm logged in as a customer. So once I click on book now, I need to book my particular seat. So let's check for book, do the booking, what thing we have, right? So this is the event, book event. Now here you can see, now book event is a, when we book any event or the ticket. So normally we do for, normally we don't do for ourselves. With us, we can add members also, like how many members are going to visit that ticket, like how many tickets we need. So if you see the object, we have to pass the array of members who will be visiting, right? So this is a single object with multiple, right? Now user ID we have to read from the local storage. Event ID we will get on the click of it. Then number of tickets we need to specify, and these are the multiple detail we need, right? So on click of book, now first we need to open the model pop-up. So here let's write the event. So click book now, and we need to pass the object, so that is event, because we are going to need the event ID. So let's create this function. So from front end we are going, no, from HTML we are going to get the ID event complete, so that we can catch it over here. Now we need to create the object first. So this was the object, so let's copy it. Event booking object, so that will be booking obj any, right? So now we need to design a, we need to open the model pop-up, right? So let's copy the model pop-up code. We had that over here. Let's copy. In the home component, I will paste it over here. Let's remove the unnecessary things. You can use the same CSS. Let me just copy. Right. So this, let's change the model name. That is book model. Let me just remove so that we can first test like login model pop-up is opening or not. So book model. Now over here again the same thing. How do we open the model pop-up? First we need to get the reference with document.get element by ID. Down bracket, we need to pass the ID. Then null check, not equal to null, right? Then if we have got the reference, then model dot style dot display is equal to block, so that model pop-up will be visible. Just like this book model, we need another function that will be close model. We don't need the parameter over here, and instead of block it will be none, right? So let's save and check if we are able to open the model pop-up. Okay, because we have copied the things, it got messed up. What was the, still we have messed up something. Let's try to remove this. What we did wrong. Okay, we have removed the existing CSS. Let's see now. Yeah, so now on click of book, now you can see we have got that UI. Model pop-up is there, right? Now next thing, we need to design the form. So let's remove this. Now what things we need? So just pay attention now. This is an event. This is a single with multiple form. So use booking ID is a primary key, so we don't need to say in it. User ID, we are going to read it from the local storage. Event ID we are going to get once we click on the book now button. The number of tickets also we can pass it by calculating the number of users, number of attendees we add, right? So we just need a multiple form. We can need a form where we can add multiple members, right? So in that thing, what we are going to need just four things: name, age, identity card, and the card number. So we are going to create an object of this. Let's create the object of this. This will be empty by default. Event members colon any, right? So this object we are going to bind with our form. Once I do the complete process, then you will understand what I was telling, because this object we are going to push to this, and this object we will be sending to our post API, right? So let's create the form. Instead of this, we can use a table format. So table as table, and now here we will have a T head. Inside T head we will have a TR, and inside TR we can have a TD, and in TD we will have just a label and a text box. Name, then we will have text box. Class form control, right? So like this, name, four elements we are going to need: name, then age, identity card, like what kind of identity card, what kind of identity proof they are giving. So this will be select option, select, let's provide 2 or 3 options, like say Aadhaar card, and then driving license or PAN card, right? So 2 things we are going to provide. Then we need a text box for identity card number, identity number. Then what else is there? Contact number. So the last thing, contact number we need. So one more thing, contact number, right? So this in T head we have added the, and we need a save button also, right? So button class btn sm, and here there will be add button. So let's just see how does it look. Now, if I say book now, right, so we need a bigger model. So let's change the model height, model dialog, model, LG. Let's save. Now we should see the bigger model. Yes, we have missed that form control class on the drop down. Right. So name, age, identity card, and the contact number. And on click of add, we should be able to add multiple members. Right. So on click of add, why it is in the, let me just see if we have some CSS for text align center. Let's remove this. What is making it in the center? Let me just see. Label, inline block. Okay, so login container. Okay, let it be. Now, on click of add, we need to we need to push this data into our object, array object, right? So this booking object dot event booking member, we need to push it. So let's create that event. Click event, add member, round bracket. Let's create this function. Now, on click of add, in this object, in this property, we need to push that object. So this dot booking object dot event booking member dot push, and we need to add this object which we have binded to the form. So this dot, right, and this only we will use to display the list also in the below table. So after t head, we will use t body, inside the tr, td. On the tr, we will use for loops. So star ng for let member of event, and here interpolation. So member dot whatever the things we have added, we can just show those, right? Okay, so we haven't binded that, right? So we need to bind it with ng model also. Ng model event member dot. So this is going to be common, right? So I will just copy and paste it so that it will save our time. Then we need to bind the things. Name, age, identity card, card number, and contact number, right? Now, so here also we need to display the same, the name, age, identity card, card number, contact number, right? So let's save and check it. On click of book now, we have got the form. Let's add, let's try Ankit. Age will be 23. Identity card, let's select Aadhaar card. Let's add dummy identity card. Contact number, dummy contact number. On click of add, so you can see we have got the details. Let's add. Okay, we should have reset the object. Let's do that afterwards. Rahul. Okay, so now you can see once I start adding, once I change that, it is also reflecting over here because it will hold the reference. So we need to break that. So for that, here first I will store the data into the constant. Obj is equal to JSON dot. We need to detach the reference of that property. So JSON dot stringify, and this object we need to provide it over here, right? Then this object I will be passing to push, right? And we need to initialize it again. So that's why this dot event object members, right? So what I'm doing with JSON.singify, I'm just detaching it, right? With constant, I have converted the object into string format, right? But before assigning, before pushing it, I just need to convert it back. So JSON.parse. So now that reference it was holding, it will be get detached. So then it won't make the changes. So let's see now. Book now. Let's try Ankit, age 23. Aadhaar card 112233. Contact number, add. Now let's try Rahul. Now you can see it is not changing, right? But earlier it was changing, right? So on click of add, we are going to add the multiple members will be attending this particular event, right? So on the bottom, we need make booking button. So on that, we are actually going to hit the API, right? So payment part, obviously we are not going to take because it needs another configuration and everything. So below table, again, I'm going to create a row dot call 12. And here I will take the button btn primary, and we will say make booking. On make booking, we just need to hit our API. So click make booking, right? So let's create this function, this dot http dot post. So first API call we need to hit is a book event, right? So up to this, it will be common only. After that, it will be book event, right? Then we need to send the object. So object we will be sending is this whole object, booking object. In that we will have the members, right? So this dot booking object dot subscribe. Before that, we need to read the local storage data also. Any. So again, if statement res dot result. If it is true, we can show the message like booking is success. Else we can show the error. Message, right? So make booking function we have done, right? But in this object, we need to add user ID, event ID, and the number of tickets. So three things we need to read, right? So booking event ID we are going to get once we click on the book now button, right? So that we will get it over in this function. So this dot, what we need, event ID. So event ID we are going to get in this function, because once we click on the book now button, event we are passing. So that only we need to read. So event dot event ID, right? Then okay, so we have not read the local storage data. We need to read the local storage data also. So let me just get that code, because we are going to need the logged in user ID, which we need to pass it over here, right? So let's just make a constant user, and this dot booking object dot user ID is equal to user dot user ID, right? So two things are done. Then one only number of tickets is remaining. So number of tickets we can get it by calculating the length of this array. So that we can do it in the final. So this dot booking object dot number of tickets is equal to this dot booking object dot this array dot length. So what number of members we have added, those number of tickets we are going to need, length. Then finally we will be sending this object, right? So let's click and save it, right? So let's try to book the Sonu Nigam show. I'll click on book now. Let's try Ankit. age 23, contact number, add Rahul, age 32, PAN card. Let's add some dummy PAN card, contact number, add. Right, so 2 numbers we have added. Let's debug the code now. Our home component is there, right? So home component.ts, and inside that make booking. So let's add on 17.4, right? So now if you see the booking object, we have got the user ID is coming undefined. Why is it? Oh, this code might have not run properly. Let's try once again. User ID. Okay, so I was small. Let's change it back. That's why you should always copy paste. Otherwise you will make these mistakes. Right, so let's try December, Rahul, 23. Let's not provide some data because that is not mandatory. Poonam, 23. Add. Let's inspect. Book now. Right, so now in booking object, you can see user ID we have got, event ID also we have got, and in the booking member, we have got 2 records, right? So both record you can see. And length also we are going to update like this. So our booking object is proper now, right? Number of tickets 2, event ID is also there, user ID is also there. Let's continue. Now in the result, you have got true, so booking success, right? So once booking is done, we need to close this model also. So we have already created that function. We just need to call it. So this dot, right? So booking is successfully done. So let's check the booking API now. We have got the records or not. Get all event booking, write out, execute. Yes, so you can see we have did the booking right now. So that we can see it over here. Now I'm logged in as a customer, right? So I should see all the bookings I have done. So here one anchor tag we need to add, that will be my bookings. So let's go over here, just like this. It will be my bookings. Right. So now role will be customer. So this link will be visible only customer logged in is there. So customer, and let's add the routing also. That is my bookings. Let's file, save all. Let's check if we can see the URL. Yes. Right. Now, in my booking, what we need to do, we need to show the logged in user booking. So for that, we have one API that is get booking by customer. So let's check the logged in user ID, application, local storage. We are not able to see, yes. Okay, so user ID is 6. Let's try and provide 6 over here. Execute. Right, so you can see only one booking I have done, so that I can see it over here. So this API call we need to make in the my booking component. So my booking, again constructor and every API call like that. So private HTTP client, get my bookings, round bracket, curly bracket, enter. So this dot HTTP dot get API call, right? Then URL. So now in URL, we need to pass the logged in user ID. Again, same code we are going to need. So constructor, let's copy this, paste it into the constructor. Right, so get my booking. This API call we can pass over here, and we need to pass the logged in user ID. So user dot user ID, and for this function we will have parameter user ID number, and this we have to pass it instead of this static thing plus user ID, then subscribe. Let's check. Now we need to store the data in some array also, like what are the bookings I have. So bookings colon any array box square. So here, whatever the response we get, I will store that in over here. So result.data, right? So we on the constructor, we have called this once we read the data from the local storage, we have called this API, right? Now, whatever the data we got, that we need to show that, right? So let's use some card. Which card we can use? Yeah, so this card we can use. Or we can use the same card, right? Whatever we have used, because we need to show, are we getting the image or no? No, we are not getting the image. So let's use the normal card, this card in HTML dot row dot call 3 image. We have to use the for loop over here. So star for let booking of our variable name, that is bookings, right? Now here we can show the booking title. What details we have? Event name is there, right? So booking dot event name. Date, some basic things we can show. It is a date, so date. Number of tickets we can show. Whatever the things you need to show, that you can show it over here. Let's file save all and let's check. Now we should see one booking. Now we should be able to see the one booking, right? So one booking is visible over here. Now we are logged in as a customer, so we should see the logged in bookings. So same thing, event planner also should be able to see the bookings he has received for the event he has created, right? So same thing. So let's log off. Let's go to the home page. Now we have one event booking, right? So same thing. We again we have one API call. Just like by the customer, we will have one API call by the organizer. Get booking by the event, or we should have one more API call, that is get all booking by the organizer. I think that API call is not present over here. But for now, I will make the get all. Which API call? Get all event booking I will do. But again, I will provide one API call that will be get all booking by organizer, right? So whatever the logged in user, you will have to pass it. But for now, I'm going to make this API call, right? So this is the API call. This I need to make it over here. Sorry, over here, event booking. This is the component which will be accessible for the booking event planner, right? So let me just copy paste the basic things. So this was the structure. Same thing is going to be there, just the API call I'm changing, right? So the API call will be this. We don't need to pass it, right? Once you check that, you can see one more API that will be get all event booking by organizer. So whatever the logged in organizer ID is there, that you need to pass, and you can only see that data, right? So code will be same only. Now HTML also, it is going to be same. Now this event booking page, we need to add it over here, just like for the event planner. Bookings also we need to show. So that will be event bookings. So now event planner will have 3 links visible. Let's file, save all. Let's log in with event planner. So this was contact number, login, password, login success. Only my booking is visible. Create event. Why my booking is visible? Let me just check. This role has a, okay. So this was the event planner. That's why. Login. This was an event planner. Right. So you can see for the event planner, we have now 3 links: create event, events he has created, right? And the bookings. So in the booking, you can see 3 bookings are visible over here, right? So like that, we have created the basic flow of event booking application, right? So I will host this application on the GitHub pages, so you can see the live version also, and APIs are also there, right? Template also I have provided. So hope you are able to complete this whole flow with your LSAP. So plus, again, I will be coming with some new videos with the meaning, again, some more project ideas. Feel free, if you know some project idea or which you like to make me a video, please do provide me that in the video description, so that I will be creating a video for the same. So that's it with this current video.